Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Thiruvan Saranai. Good evening, Venerable Mahasangha, Sires and brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today we will be starting on a new gocchaka, Saṃyojana gocchakaṃ, the Fetters cluster. So like in the previous gocchaka, the Asava gocchaka, even here the Saṃyojana gocchaka, the Fetters cluster, we have 6 couplets. And they are similar to the structure that was given in the Asava gocchaka. So first, Saṃyojana dukkhaṃ, the Fetters couplet. There are 2 terms. Saṃyojana Dhamma states that are fetters. No Saṃyojana Dhamma states that are not fetters. Saṃyojaniya dukkhaṃ, co-intoxicant couplet. Saṃyojaniya Dhamma states that have fetters, and Asaṃyojaniya Dhamma states that do not have fetters. Saṃyojana sampayutta dukkhaṃ, associated with fetters couplet. Saṃyojana sampayutta states associated with fetters, and Saṃyojana vipayutta Dhamma states dissociated from fetters. Saṃyojana, Saṃyojaniya dukkhaṃ. Here the first the first couplet and the second couplet are combined. The fetters and four-fetters couplet. Saṃyojana cheva Dhamma Saṃyojaniya cha states that are both fetters and have fetters. Saṃyojaniya cheva Dhamma no cha Saṃyojana states that have fetters but are not fetters. Then the next one combines the first dukkha and the third dukkha. Saṃyojana sampayutta dukkhaṃ. Fetters associated with fetters couplet. Saṃyojana cheva Dhamma Saṃyojana sampayutta cha states that are both fetters and associated with fetters. Saṃyojana sampayutta cheva Dhamma no cha Saṃyojana states that are associated with fetters but are not fetters. And finally we have Saṃyojana vipayutta Saṃyojaniya dukkhaṃ. The second and third couplets combined, that is dissociated from fetters, for fetters couplet. Saṃyojana vipayutta kopana Dhamma Saṃyojaniya pi states that are dissociated from fetters but have fetters. Saṃyojana vipayutta kopana Dhamma Asaṃyojaniya pi states that are dissociated from fetters and do not have fetters. So we'll start with the first term of the first dukkha, Saṃyojana Dhamma, states that are fetters. And we look at the Atthasālinī, the Dhammasaṅgaṇī commentary description. In the fetter group, the stages which join or bind repeated rounds of birth, the person in whom they exist, are termed fetters. So basically the fetters are whatever dhammas that bind these individuals into the rounds of birth and death. So the sansaric rounds of they are called vatta, sansara vatta. And there are 3 vatta, kilesa vatta, those are the cycle of defilements, the kamma vatta, and the vipaka vatta, the resultant cycle. So these 3 cycles are what keeps an individual, or what keeps these living beings from being born over and over again, and that's what keeps us going in samsara. So we'll talk further on these 3 cycles in our next lesson, but for now remember that fetters are the main reason why living beings are repeatedly being born and goes on in samsara. Now let's look at the Nikkepa Khandang, the summary section. Khatame Dhamma Saṃyojana, which are the states that are fetters. Dasa Saṃyojanāni, 10 fetters. Kama Raga Saṃyojana, fetter of sensual desire. Patigha Saṃyojana, fetter of aversion. Mana Saṃyojana, fetter of conceit. Ditti Saṃyojana, fetter of wrong view. Vicikicca Saṃyojana, fetter of doubt. Silabbata Paramasa Saṃyojana, fetter of clinging to rites and rituals in the belief that they can lead to liberation. Bhavaraga Saṃyojana, fetter of attachment to existence. Issa Saṃyojana, fetter of envy. Maccariya Saṃyojana, fetter of avarice or stinginess. Avijja Saṃyojana, fetter of ignorance. So we got 10 Saṃyojana Dhamma, and these 10 can be classified under 8 Cetasika. So Kamaraga and Bhavaraga Saṃyojana are Lobha Cetasika. Patigha is Dosa Cetasika. Mana Saṃyojana is Mana. Then Ditti Saṃyojana and Silabbata Paramasa Saṃyojana, both of these are Ditti Cetasika. Vicikicca Saṃyojana is Vicikicca, doubt. Issa, again, Issa Cetasika. Maccariya Saṃyojana is Maccariya Cetasika. And finally, Avijja Saṃyojana is Moha Cetasika. So the 10 fetters are actually 8 Cetasika. Now, after naming the 10 Saṃyojana, each of these Saṃyojana are further described in the Nikkepa Kanda. So, first we get Tatta Katamang Kamaraga Saṃyojana, what is the fetter of sensual desire. So, this description is similar to the definition of Kama Asava of the Asava Dhamma. So, we will not describe this further. It's the same description given under Asava Dhamma. Tatta Katamam Patigha Saṃyojana, what is the fetter of aversion? So here again it is similar to the dosa of Hetu Dhamma. So on this slide we have the 10 different ways that aversion arises. First, a person may have the thought, he has done me harm, is doing harm, will do me harm. So one has an aversion towards another individual regarding the past, present, and future. Then the second one, again, past, present, and future. The thought is, he has done harm, is doing harm, or will do harm to someone dear to me. Then finally, the next one is, he has conferred a benefit, that is past, is conferring a benefit, present, will confer a benefit, future, on someone I dislike. So I don't like if someone whom I dislike gets some sort of benefit. So that is, again, past, present, and future. And finally, when annoyance springs up groundlessly, so it's not an annoyance directed towards anyone, it can arise just without any basis. For example, a person may get angry, may say, okay, may get angry because it's raining or because it's hot. So that kind of annoyance is the attane va pana agato jayati. So these are the 10 ways that aversion can arise. And now these terms are further described. And again, they are similar to the dosa of Hetu Dhamma, so I will not elaborate them now. And again here, this part is also similar to dosa, except for the last line, which says, Idam Vucchati Patigha Saṃyojana. This is the fetter of aversion. Tatta Katamang Mana Saṃyojana. What is the fetter of conceit? Seyo hamasmiti mano, conceit at the thought that I am the better man, or in other words, that I am superior. Saddiso hamasmiti mano, conceit at the thought I am as good as they, or in other words, I am equal. Hino hamasmiti mano, conceit at the thought I am lowly, in other words, I am inferior. Yo eva rupo mano, all such sort of conceit, manyana, imagining, manyitatang, state of imagining, Unnati, elevation or loftiness. Unnamo, haughtiness. Dajo, a flag. Sampaggaho, self-assumption. Ketukamyata chittassa, desire of the mind to be a banner or to be distinguished. Idam uchati mana saṃyojana. This is called the fetter of conceit. Now let's look at the Atthasālinī description of conceit or mana. Among the fetters in the exposition of conceit, conceit at the thought that I am the better man is the conceit arising thus. In the sense of superiority, I am the better man. So the first form was one may think that I am superior, regardless of whether the other person who is being compared is superior, equal, or inferior. Conceit at the thought, I am as good as they, or in other words, I am equal, is the conceit arising thus in the sense of equality. I am as good. Conceit at the thought, I am inferior, is the conceit arising thus in the sense of inferiority. I am inferior. Thus, these three kinds of conceit, superiority, equality, inferiority, arise in three kinds of persons. For in the superior man, the three may arise. I am superior, equal, inferior. Likewise, in the equal and the inferior man. In the superior man, the conceit of superiority alone is a conceit corresponding to reality. Yatavamano. The other two are not real. Ayatava mana. So what does this mean? So a person who is in fact superior to the ones being compared, this person may think I am superior to the other, or I am equal to the other, or I am inferior to the other. So now, in reality, he is the superior one, but he may have three different notions, either that he is superior or equal or inferior. So what is the true, the conceit that is corresponding to reality would be the one where he thinks that he is superior. The other ones are not real. So, for example, if you take a person who is very, say, the richest man in a certain village, he thinks of another person as superior to him, but he is actually the richest person. So that is a misconception. That is a wrong conceit. Or he may think he is equal. Again, that is wrong. If he thinks he is superior, that is the correct one. If he thinks he is equal to another person, then, or if he thinks he is inferior, those two conceits are not real. So similarly, in the equal man, the conceit of equality is the real form of conceit. In the inferior man, the conceit of inferiority alone is the real, whereas the other two are not real. So what does this signify? That in one particular kind of person, three kinds of conceit may arise. So regardless of what that person is, whether he is the superior person, the equal person, or the inferior person, each of those individuals may have three different types of conceit, either superiority complex or equality or inferiority complex. So in summary, in one man, the three kinds of conceit may arise. So for one who is superior, he may think, I am either superior, equal, or inferior to another individual. For one who is equal to another individual, he would think that he is superior, equal, or inferior. And finally, one who is inferior, he may think I am superior, equal, or inferior. So each individual can have three different kinds of conceit. But in the Kuddaka Vattu Vibhanga, in the classification of the first conceit, it is said that one conceit occurs in three kinds of persons. So here, this reference is from the Abhidhamma Pitaka, the Vibhanga Prakarana, chapter called Kuddaka Vattu Vibhanga, under the section Ekaka Matika. So now let's look at what the Kuddaka Vattu Vibhanga states about Mano. Seyo hamasmiti mano, I am superior, is conceit. Sadiso hamasmiti mano, I am equal, is conceit. Hino hamasmiti mano, I am inferior, is conceit. Then it goes on to say, Seyasa seyo hamasmiti mano, of one who is superior, the conceit thus, I am superior. Seyasa sadiso hamasmiti mano, of one who is superior, the conceit thus, I am equal. Seyasa hino hamasmiti mana, of one who is superior, the conceit thus, I am inferior. So basically, there's a comparison of one who is superior with another person, and he may think that he is either superior, equal, or inferior to the other. Then the next set, Sadisassa seyo hamasmiti mano, of one who is equal, the conceit, thus I am superior. Sadisassa sadiso hamasmiti mano, of one who is equal, the conceit, thus I am equal. Sadisassa hino hamasmiti mana, of one who is equal, the conceit, thus I am inferior. Now the comparison is between one who is equal to another, and that person also may think in the same way that he is superior, equal, or inferior to the other. Then finally, we have the inferior individual comparing himself to the others. Hinasa seyo hamasmiti mano, of one who is inferior, the conceit, thus I am superior. Hinasa sadiso hamasmiti mano, of one who is inferior, the conceit, thus I am equal. Hinasa hino hamasmiti mano, of one who is inferior, the conceit, thus I am inferior. So again, the inferior person compares himself to others and thinks that he is either superior, equal, or inferior to them. Then there are a few more definitions. Mano, conceit. Atimano, over-conceit. Manatimano, conceit that is excessive. Omano, inferiority, conceit. Adimano, presumptuous conceit. Asmimano, the conceit I am. Michamano, wrong conceit. If we go back to the Dhammasaṅgaṇī description of conceit, it was stated that in one man, three kinds of conceit may arise. So the one who is superior can have either superior, equal, or inferior conceits. Similarly, the equal person also will have those three, and the inferior person will have again the same three. But in the Kuddaka Vattu Vibhanga, it is given in a different way. One conceit occurs in three kinds of persons. So first, it was given as seyo hamasmiti mano, I am superior. Sadiso hamasmiti mano, I am equal. Hino hamasmiti mano, I am inferior. Those three conceits are further subdivided into three kinds of persons. So seyasa, sadisasa, and hinasa. So each conceit occurs in three kinds of persons. Now we'll go back to the remaining few terms described under mana. In the sense of conceiving oneself, it is called conceit. Mana karana vasena mano. Imagining, manyana, and state of imagining, manyitatta, explains the mode and the state of operation. Elevation or loftiness is in the sense of rising upwards or of springing over others. Haughtiness raises up the person in whom conceit arises or lifts him up, keeps upraised. A flag, dajo, is in the sense of being held aloft high in the air. self-assumption means that it takes hold of the mind by uplifting it.
那我们
Of many flags, the flag which rises above others is called ketu or a banner. So conceit arising repeatedly in the sense of excelling with reference to subsequent conceits is like a banner. That mind which desires the banner is said to be desirous of the banner. Such a state is desire of the mind to be a banner or to be distinguished. And that desire is of the mind, not of the conceit in itself. Hence, desire of the mind to be a banner or to be distinguished. Indeed, the mind associated with conceit desires a banner. The state of that desire is called as ketu kamyata. Thus, the conceit itself is what is meant by the term ketu. Now we go to the next fetter, ditti saṃyojana. Tatta kataman ditti saṃyojana. What is the fetter of wrong view? Here it is similar to ditthāsavo of the asava dhamma, except for the last line. So, what is the difference here? Tapetva sīlabbata parāmāsa saṃyojanam sabbāpi micchāditti ditti saṃyojanam. Excluding fetter of clinging to rites and rituals in the belief that they can lead to liberation, all wrong views are fetter of wrong view. Because here, ditti has been subdivided into two fetters. One is ditti saṃyojana, the other is sīlabbata paramasa saṃyojana. So when you remove the sīlabbata paramasa from this ditti, all other remaining dittis are classified under ditti saṃyojana. Tatta katamam vicikicca saṃyojanam. What is perplexity or doubt fetter? Here this is similar to vicikicca of Dassanena pahatabba dhamma. So just to remind you, the master to doubt, to be complexed about, then the doctrine, the order, the discipline, the past, the future, and both about the past and the future. So there are 8 different forms of doubt that one can have. And also regarding the paticca samuppada, whether as to whether there be an assignable cause of states causally determined. And then vicikicca is further described by these terms. Again, it's similar to what was described under Dassanena pahatabba dhamma.
然后呢，仪姐呢也进一步呢以这种种不同的名相来形容它，这些呢都跟我们在见所断法里面学习仪的时候这些定义呢是一模一样的。
Tatta kataman sīlabbata paramāsa saṃyojana, what is called the fetter of clinging to rites and rituals in the belief that they can lead to liberation. So here again it's similar to what was given under Dassanena pahatabba dhamma. Tatta katamam bhavaraga saṃyojana, what is the fetter of attachment to existence? Again, this is similar to bhavasavo of asava dhamma. And the last 3 fetters highlighted here, we'll go through them in our next lesson. So we actually finished it earlier than I thought. Are there any questions? All right, in the absence of questions, we'll conclude our lesson today. Our next lesson will be on the 6th of September.
Oh, sorry, should be 13, Doctor.
Have I put the wrong date?
13,
Sorry,
13.
13th, isn't it? Ah, yes,
Yeah.
yes, 13th of September. Sorry, it will be on the 13th of September.
Doctor, there's some question
Sorry,
now. Is it okay?
It is okay. It is okay. Yes.
So the first question to ask Doctor, since Silabbata Paramasa is part of wrong view, then why does it not belong to the Ditti Saṃyojana?
That is, okay. So, Ditti as a Chetasika includes both the Ditti Saṃyojana and Silabbata Saṃyojana. So, because Silabbata Saṃyojana has been taken as a separate entity, that is why it is not included within the Ditti Saṃyojana, but they both are Ditti Chetasika. So because they have been divided into two separate Saṃyojana, that is why the Silabbata component of Ditti has been removed from Ditti Saṃyojana. So it is similar to the Kamaraga Saṃyojana and Bhavaraga Saṃyojana. That is Lobha. Kamaraga and Bhavaraga is Lobha, but they have been divided into two separate Saṃyojana. So if you ask what is Kamaraga Saṃyojana, then we'll have to say that all Lobha excluding Bhavaraga falls under Kamaraga. Similarly, this Silabbata Paramasa has to be removed from Ditti Saṃyojana because it's been taken as a separate Saṃyojana. Is there another question?
Yes, there's a second question. I need to just go back first to find that. Okay. In the list of the definition of mana, under mana, maybe slide 23 or 24. There is this manyana.
Manyana, imagining.
Imagining. So the question is, can Dr. kindly explain what does it mean? Because the listener did not understand. Is it possible to give an example?
Okay, so let's go back to that slide. Okay, so now the mode and state of operation. Okay, so manyana is basically imagining, the state of imagining. So these are different ways of explaining the same thing. So if one may imagine that this conceit is basically not, most of the time, not something that is actually real. It's kind of like a perception. One perceives oneself as superior to another, or as equal to another, or as inferior to another. So the way that one perceives oneself or imagines oneself is manyana. And the state of imagining. So if, for example, I am comparing myself to another person at this moment, this particular state of imagining would be manyitatta. So even when we were describing lobha, there were similar words. So it basically describes almost the same thing, because different people, different individuals understand the same thing when described using different words, because the language is very diverse, and in India there were many languages, so many words were given to describe the same thing. So conceit is basically, it's like a measure. One is measuring oneself against another person, comparing oneself, and based on one's comparison, he will think that he is either superior, equal, or inferior. So it is only once a person becomes an arahant that this comparison is completely eradicated. Until that point, every individual will be always having this mana within themselves. Even even an anagami individual will have this mana, but to a lesser degree. It's completely eradicated only when one becomes an arahant. So it's basically this comparison that is described using these words, manyana and manyitatto. Right. So again, the question regarding the Abhidhamma Bhajaniya and the Suttanta Bhajaniya Saṃyojana, the difference, I still couldn't find the reason. And even in the commentary, they are talking about the Orambhagya and the Uddambhagya Saṃyojana, which we'll talk about next week. Again, even though they talk about the Orambhagya and Uddambhagya, that is the lower five and the upper five Saṃyojana, which is mainly described in the suttas, this difference between the sutta and Abhidhamma classification of Saṃyojana was not given in that section. So I'll see if I can find even in the sutta commentaries whether there's a reason for this difference, but still I have no answer for your question. Is there another question?
No, just to say thank you very much, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. That was the last to reply to acknowledge doctor's answer.
Okay, so I think we have answered the questions. If there are no more questions, we can share merits now. I think there's another. No.
No, just thank you.
Okay. Right. So I would like all of you to join me.
老师说，那现在我们来做这个功德的分享呢，请大家呢跟着老师一起做功德分享。
Ākāsattā ca bhummattā devānāgā mahittikā puñyantaṃ anumoditvā chiran rakkantu sāsanam chiran rakkantu desanam chiran rakkantu mamparam idam me ñātīnaṃ hotu sukitā hontu ñāteyo idam me ñātīnaṃ hotu sukitā hontu ñāteyo idam me ñātīnaṃ hotu sukitā hontu ñāteyo Imina puñyakamena mame bala samagamo satan samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Idam me punyang asavakya vahang hotu. Idam me punyang nibbana sapacchayo hotu. Mama punya bhagang sabba sattanang bhajeni te sabbe me samang punya bhagang labantu. Buddha Sāsanang Chiran Tiktatu, Buddha Sāsanang Chiran Tiktatu, Buddha Sāsanang Chiran Tiktatu, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you,
Thank
Doctor.
you,
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you.